He was born as a royal prince in a kingdom of southern India, but he renounced his worldly life to become a Buddhist monk. He traveled across the Himalayas to China, where he introduced a new form of Buddhism that emphasized meditation and direct experience of the mind. He also taught martial arts to the monks of Shaolin and became the legendary founder of Kung-Fu and Zen. He is revered as a patriarch, a saint, and a hero in China, Japan, and beyond. He is known by many names such as Bodhidharma, Dámó, and Daruma. But who was he really, and what was his legacy? This is the story of Bodhidharma, the mysterious Indian prince behind Kung-Fu and Zen. Bodhidharma's life is shrouded in mystery and legend. There are few reliable historical sources about him, and most of the accounts are based on oral traditions, religious scriptures, and artistic representations. However, some scholars have tried to reconstruct his biography based on the available evidence and clues. According to the principal Chinese sources, Bodhidharma was born in the 5th or 6th century CE in the kingdom of Pallava, which corresponds to the present-day states of Tamil Nadu, Karnataka, and Andhra Telangana in India. His original name was Bodhyottara, and he was the third and youngest son of King Simhavaman II. The capital city of Pallava was Kanchi, which was a prominent center of Buddhist scholarship and culture. The king himself was interested in Buddhism and arranged for his sons to be trained by a renowned master named Prajnottara. Prajnottara was the 27th in a lineage of masters and disciples that could be traced back directly to the Buddha himself. Prajnottara recognized the spiritual potential and wisdom of the youngest prince and decided to make him his chosen disciple. He taught him everything he knew about the Dharma, the teachings of the Buddha, and the practice of meditation. He also trained him in various disciplines such as medicine, acupressure, and martial arts. Under his guidance, Bodhyottara attained enlightenment or awakening and became a master himself. He received a new name from his teacher, Bodhidharma, which means Dharma of awakening in Sanskrit. Bodhidharma's enlightenment was not the end of his journey, but the beginning. He felt a strong urge to spread the Dharma to other lands, especially to China, where Buddhism had already arrived centuries earlier, but had not yet reached its full potential. He also received a prophecy from his teacher, who told him that he would meet a great emperor in China who would support his mission. Bodhidharma left his homeland and embarked on a perilous journey across the Himalayas, braving the harsh weather, the wild animals, and the bandits. He finally reached China in the early 6th century CE, during the reign of Emperor Wu of Liang, a devout Buddhist who had built many temples and monasteries. Bodhidharma hoped to find a receptive audience for his teachings, but he was soon disappointed. When he met the emperor, he was asked what merit he had gained from his pious deeds. Bodhidharma replied, "None whatsoever." The emperor was puzzled and asked him what the essence of Buddhism was. Bodhidharma answered, "Vast emptiness, nothing holy." The emperor was offended and asked him who he was. Bodhidharma said, "I don't know." The emperor was furious and dismissed him from his court. Bodhidharma realized that the emperor and his followers had a superficial understanding of Buddhism and that they were attached to rituals, scriptures, and worldly rewards. He decided to leave the capital and look for more suitable disciples elsewhere. He traveled north to the province of Henan, where he came across the Shaolin monastery, a Buddhist temple that had been founded by an Indian monk named Batuo in the 5th century CE. Bodhidharma was impressed by the devotion of the monks, but he also noticed that they were weak and sickly due to their sedentary lifestyle and poor diet. He decided to stay at the monastery and teach them his methods of meditation and martial arts. He also introduced them to the consumption of green tea, which he had brought from India and which he claimed had health benefits. Bodhidharma's teachings were based on the Lankavatara Sutra, a scripture that emphasizes the direct realization of one's true nature, or Buddha nature, through meditation. He taught that the mind is the source of all phenomena, and that one can attain enlightenment by seeing one's mind as it really is, without any delusions or attachments. He also taught that words and concepts are not the ultimate truth, and that one should rely on one's own experience, rather than on the authority of others. He called his method dhyana, which means meditation in Sanskrit, and which was later translated as Chan in Chinese and Zen in Japanese. Bodhidharma's martial arts were not meant for violence or self-defense, but for physical and mental training. He taught the monks how to use their breath, energy, and movements to enhance their concentration, endurance, and awareness. He also taught them how to use their hands, feet, and other parts of their body as weapons in case they had to protect themselves or others from harm. He created a set of exercises called the 18 Lohan hands, which were later developed into the famous Shaolin Kung-Fu. Bodhidharma spent 9 years at the Shaolin monastery, where he gained many disciples and followers. Among them, the most prominent was Huiki, a young scholar who had renounced his family and wealth to become a monk. Huiki was determined to learn from Bodhidharma and followed him everywhere, even when he was meditating in a cave. Huiki once cut off his own arm to prove his sincerity and asked Bodhidharma to teach him the Dharma. Bodhidharma was moved by his devotion and accepted him as his successor. He transmitted to him the Lankavatara Sutra and the lineage of the Dharma, making him the 29th patriarch of Buddhism and the 2nd patriarch of Chan. Bodhidharma eventually left the Shaolin monastery and continued his travels in China. He died in the year 532 CE at the age of 150, according to some sources. He was buried at the foot of a mountain, where a stupa was erected in his honor. However, there are many legends and miracles associated with his death. Some say that he did not die, but entered a state of deep meditation, and that his body was preserved in a cave. Some say that he was seen alive in India after his supposed death in China. Some say that his tomb was opened and that only a single sandal was found inside. Some say that he flew back to India on his sandal and that he still lives there, waiting for the right time to return. Bodhidharma's legacy is immense and profound. He is regarded as the founder of Chan Buddhism, which later spread to Japan, Korea, Vietnam, and other countries, and became one of the most influential and popular forms of Buddhism in the world. He is also regarded as the founder of Shaolin Kung Fu, which later gave birth to many other styles and schools of martial arts, and became a symbol of Chinese culture and identity. He is also revered as a saint, a hero, and a cultural icon in China, Japan, and beyond. He is depicted in various forms of art such as paintings, statues, and dolls, and his image is often used as a source of inspiration, wisdom, and humor. Bodhidharma was a mysterious Indian prince behind Kung-Fu and Zen, but he was also much more than that. He was a man who followed his own path and who shared his vision and experience with others. He was a man who transcended the boundaries of time, space, and culture, and who touched the hearts and minds of millions of people. He was a man who embodied the spirit of Buddhism and who showed us the way to awakening.